Good afternoon. EFF leader Julius Malema has described as charlatans and opportunists people who are suggesting that the recent unrest was an insurrection. There was rampant looting of malls, warehouses and shops in KwaZulu-Natal and parts of Gauteng. Protesters also burnt trucks and closed off the main roads connecting the two economic hubs in the country. More than 350 people have lost their lives in the violence, and President Cyril Ramaphosa said the masterminds behind the violence will be arrested soon. During his address on the party's 8th anniversary, Malema said that people were protesting for a better life and not wanting to overthrow the government. Right, let's get more on this with SABC News senior political reporter Samkele Maseko. Very good afternoon to you, Samkele. Tell us what else came out of that address.
Essentially, what the leader of the EFF on the 8th birthday of the July 26 movement that they dub coming from the Cuban Revolution of Fidel Castro and Batista, Julius Malema essentially says that the insurrection allegations that were purported by President Cyril Ramaphosa were not true, and that people who say that are just charlatans and opportunists. We do know that the Minister of Transport, Fikile Mbalula, on an international platform did also repeat those words. But there was a storm on this particular issue with the Minister of Defense in the country, Nosiviwe Mapisa-Nqakula, going against the president's words, saying that that was not the case. Later on, you had Bathabile Dlamini, the Women's League president, coming out to say that the minister was bulldozed. We've also had Ayanda Lodlo, the Minister of State Security and Intelligence, also contradicting the president, whilst her deputy, Zizi Godwa, confirmed what the president is saying, that it's an insurrection. Then you've had Ntumiseni Ntuli, the ANC provincial secretary in KwaZulu-Natal, saying that it was an over-exaggeration by President Cyril Ramaphosa. So essentially, Julius Malema has taken the tone of those who have criticized the president of these particular utterances, because in essence, if there is an insurrection or a coup, there has to be a face to it. At this point in time, there is no face to it, apart from the likes of the allegations that have been said by Minister Fikile Mbalula in saying that the likes of Carl Niehaus were at the forefront of this, the likes of Ngizwe Mkhunu, who was currently remanded in custody with his bail hearing not yet done, after he had a private jet that escorted him and flew him out from Gauteng to KwaZulu-Natal, and that the state is saying that he's a flight risk. He is also been incarcerated on inciting violence. So essentially, the EFF has said that these protests that sprung and were sparked by the arrest of former President Jacob Zuma is those who are impoverished, the downtrodden, the poor, who were using those lootings in order for them to have something to eat, and also saying that with President Cyril Ramaphosa unleashing the army on civilians, he is declaring war and playing right into the hands of his political opponents. And if he was democratically elected and the masses of South Africans still have faith in President Ramaphosa, he would go down and engage with those South Africans.
Samkele, there was a lot said in the last hour or two. What other issues did Malema traverse?
Julius Malema essentially took 2 hours off your show. You just have 1 hour left now.
Basically.
Essentially, Julius Malema went to town in saying that his former deputy president in the ANC Youth League, the Minister of Justice and Correctional Services, Ronald Ozilamula, is the Bruno Mtolo of their generation. He is a sellout, and he is distorting the resolutions of economic freedom in our lifetime, which is a document of a clarion call for all economic freedom fighters at the 2011 Gallagher Estate Conference of the ANC Youth League, which resolved on the 7 cardinal pillars of the ANC Youth League, which is a carbon copy of the resolutions of the EFF. Many people saying that the EFF stole those resolutions of the ANC Youth League. Essentially, Julius Malema is alleging that the Minister of Justice and Correctional Services is distorting the resolutions of land expropriation without compensation and the amendment of Section 25 of the Constitution. Speaking to the minister earlier on WhatsApp, whilst Julius Malema was making those allegations against him, Ronald Lamula essentially said that it is the EFF themselves who are distorting the resolutions of the ANC Youth League conference at Gallagher Estate on that issue of land expropriation without compensation. Julius Malema also going to saying that they will go and support the people of Eswatini in the struggle that they are waging to overthrow the government of King Mswati, because it's an undemocratic dispensation, and the allegations that are made that they are providing the EFF in Eswatini with arms is not true. But if the EFF in Eswatini decide to go to the camps, the guerrilla camps, to go to the bush to fight for the liberation of their country, they will support them as the EFF. And if the EFF in that country were to make a call of any assistance that they need from the EFF in this country, the EFF will gladly provide them with any assistance that they need. And also going to town in saying, with the war that they waged against former President Jacob Zuma, a weak Jacob Zuma in the words of Julius Malema, they are going to take that same battle with the full might that they have to the powerful ANC president and powerful president of the Republic of South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa, in saying that Cyril Ramaphosa is essentially serving those who are the previous colonizers of the Republic of South Africa, and that he's got no iota of interest in solving the problems of those who are downtrodden. But interestingly, on the issues of the CR17 bank statements, Julius Malema makes a startling allegation that during the week someone came to him and said his own Deputy President Floyd Shivambu is in the CR17 bank statements. Julius Malema saying he does not believe that because Floyd Shivambu was the only official within the EFF who said this issue of the CR17 bank statements needs to be taken to the Constitutional Court, and he led from the very first day that these issues were revealed by the Public Protector Advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane. So essentially, Julius Malema also throwing a gauntlet out to his own Deputy President Floyd Shivambu in saying that he has been told he's there, but does not believe that he's there. Floyd Shivambu himself has said through Julius Malema that he is not in those CR17 bank statements, despite 2 members of the Economic Freedom Fighters, 2 former CCT members, 2 former members of the EFF in the National Assembly who were in those CR17 bank statements and who were subsequently removed from their positions and suspended from the organization.
Samkele Maseko, SABC News senior political reporter, giving us some insight into that address early on. Thanks so much for your time, Samkele.